Aloha, mai kako, and welcome to the joint hearing of the Agriculture Environment Committee and the Hawaiian Affairs Committee. It is Thursday, March 18th, 2021. It's 1 p.m. We're in the conference room 16 and also virtual. Okay, so the joint committee hearing will include audio and video of remote participants, and it's being streamed live on. You'll also find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website at capitol.hawaii.gov. And in the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to major technical difficulties, the committees will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at 1:06 p.m. on March 19th during our AEN via video conference time slot, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. For testifiers, all testifier audio will be muted and video disabled until shortly before it's your turn to testify. And because of our 90-minute time limit for each of our AEN hearings, there will be a 2-minute time limit for all testifiers, and we'll have a virtual countdown timer on the Zoom screen. So please be aware of the timer. And we apologize if the closed captioning does not accurately transcribe the name. So let's get started. We have one bill on our agenda today. It's House Bill 756 HD2 relating to the Board of Ag. And this designates one of the at-large positions on the Board of Ag as the chairperson of the Hawaiian Homes Commission, sunsetting on June 3rd, 2024. And so the first testifier from OHA, OHA is in support. William Aila from DHHL. Is William here?
Yes, thank you, Chair. We appreciate the fact that you scheduled this bill. We strongly support the bill as laid out in our testimony. However, we would ask that the sunset date be removed, and then the rest of our testimony is with comments.
Thank you, William. Next is Phyllis Shimabukuro Geyser from the Hawaii Department of Ag.
Aloha, Chairs Gabbard and Chair Shimabukuro and members of the committee. Phyllis Shimabukuro Geyser, Hawaii Department of Agriculture. The department will stand on its written testimony. We offered comments, and we'd like to also amend our last paragraph in our testimony to read, should the legislature be inclined to adopt this measure, the department requests that the measure be delayed until session 2023 to coincide with the termination of eligibility of the current board members to avoid disruption to the current makeup and the effectiveness of the board. And the reason why we offer that suggestion is that we do have board members that are before the Ag and Environment Committee this session for advice and consent to serve a second term. And so we would like the process to not be disruptive. So we're requesting that the committees consider delaying decision on this measure until session 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. Jennifer Azuma Trupalik, she is in opposition. Dana Kiave is in opposition. Thomas Shirai Jr. from Kauai Hapai Ohana is in support. Members, do you have any questions? I have a question. Oh, go ahead, Senator Ihara.
Let's see, I'm trying to, I don't recall, I don't believe there is a testimony from the Attorney General's office.
No.
And I'm not sure, I'm gonna recall, the question I have is to William Aila. So let's say if you were on the Board of Agriculture and a proposal came up or a decision arose that you agreed with, let's say, but your board, the Hawaiian Homelands Commission, opposed, and you voted for the proposal. And let's say there was let's say the swing vote, and let's say there's a court challenge as to your status as a trustee. And so I guess the question is, well, I'd like to get your feedback as to what your take is on that kind of a situation.
Thank you, Senator. The correct decision in that case is to follow whatever the commission decides, because the commission is ultimately the authority that decides policy. And so unless it was designated, the decision was designated or delegated to me, I would honor the commission's decision and vote accordingly.
Okay, so to be clear then, if I heard you right, in a way, what if, let's say this bill takes effect, and if it's, and whoever the Hawaiian Homelands director or chair is, they would be representing the commission itself, is what you're saying, because you're going to be, unless
the authority to decide policy rests with the commission. So unless it's delegated to the chair and the commission took a position, I would be required to vote in the position that the commission took.
Okay, well then the next question is, could the commission delegate authority, trustee authority of the commission itself to you or the chair in person, in that person's own personal capacity, and sitting on the board and a swing vote and voted for an action that is contrary to the trustees? The question is, could the trustees delegate trustee authority to act outside the trust responsibility?
That would be a question for the attorneys, but I would answer no. It would always have to be within the authority of the commission, the Hawaiian Homes Commission.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
great. So the Board of Agriculture members now are not trustees, fiduciary trustees, but one of its, if this bill passes and becomes law, one of its members would be a trustee and would be faithful to the trust of the Hawaiian Homelands Commission. So I just want to be clear, and thank you very much.
Okay.
If I could respond to that one, Chair, if I may respond to that one.
Yes, go ahead.
The
William.
Department of Land and, yes, thank you. The Department of Land and Natural Resources is a trustee to the people of Hawaii and to the resources of Hawaii, and they already sit on the Board of Agriculture. So it would be no different than the Department of Land and Natural Resources representative or their designee.
Okay, well, my comment is that the DLNR's board is a general trustee. They have wide latitude of its founding documents, whereas Hawaiian Homelands is much relative to the land board. Its trustee range scope is very narrow relative to the land board. So I agree with you. They're both trustees, but they're one is a general trustee and the other one is a specific trustee.
Okay, I will leave it for the attorneys to decide. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
Senator Ihara, you said DLNR, you meant Board of Ag, right?
No, well, no, William mentioned Board of Land and Natural Resources as an example of a trustee.
Oh, okay.
On the, yeah.
Got it. Any other questions, members? Jarrett?
Chair Shimabukuro Geyser, in your role as chair of the Department of Agriculture, are you absolved of fiduciary responsibilities for the state's obligation to administer the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act?
Could you repeat the question again? I'm going to put my earphones on because I'm having audio difficulty hearing your question.
Thank you, Senator, for your patience.
No
Could you
problem.
repeat the question?
In your role as chair of the, or as administrator of the Department of Agriculture, does that absolve is the Department of Agriculture absolved of any of the fiduciary responsibilities of state government as they relate to the public trust or the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act?
I know that agriculture is a public trust. I can't speak for the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act, but I don't know if this answers your question. I believe that through my experience being a former board member for 8 years and currently a part of the Board of Agriculture as chairperson, and even when I was deputy and I was not part of the board, our board has had representation by members who are part of the Native Hawaiian community. And the department does include all people involved in agriculture. So we do serve the Native Hawaiian stakeholder group in all of our program missions.
So I think, I'm concerned about this reference to Native Hawaiians as a stakeholder group when what we're talking about here is the seating of another department in addition to 2 other departments that have seats on these boards that serve the interests of the executive branch as executive branch agencies. Just because an agency is created to serve in the place of the governor, to my knowledge, does not absolve those individual agencies of any of the broader executive branch mandates. And this is not really, I guess now I'm not really asking a question or fairly directing it to you because there's no attorney general here to opine on this issue. But I am concerned about the specifying of the Department of Hawaiian Homelands as an external stakeholder group when they're an agency of state government, the same way DBED or the Department of Ag are. So, I would suggest if this bill proceeds that you clarify whether the position that you've taken in this testimony comports with the law.
Thank you, Senator, and we'll do that.
Any other questions, members? I have a question for DHHL. William, you still there?
Yes, Chair.
Yes. Given your request for this legislation, does DHHL intend to increase its focus on agriculture in relation to its mission for housing creation?
I believe that it would provide us with additional knowledge and additional, Phyllis and I talked about additional potential asks for resources for both of our departments. We could join in and seek, I think, congressional appropriations for ag projects, ag funding on behalf of both of our agencies. It might make sense that we jointly develop a water source or a water conveyance system.
Okay, thank you. No other questions? Okay,
I have a.
Oh, go ahead, Senator.
Yeah, let me figure out how to frame this. So, so let's say this bill becomes law. The governor would have 2 appointees on, in addition to so William is an appointee of the governor. Ideally, a trust would select their own chair. That way, the chair of the trust of the trustee group, Hawaiian Homelands, would be I have a one loyalty, and that is to the trust. In your case, you have in a way confused. It's one. I'm not sure if it's one loyalty. You actually have two. You have the other one is a general state fiduciary responsibility, and they're not necessarily always the same. In fact, a lot of times they aren't in terms of funding in particular. This is an aside, maybe we don't have to address it here, but I just want to raise the, to me, the true trustee would be selected by the trustees, not by the governor, who also appoints the Board of Ag director. So that, I guess that's just a comment.
Okay. All right. IT, if we could go.
Chair, may I respond?
Oh, yeah,
Chair,
go
may I
ahead.
respond briefly?
Sure, go ahead, William.
Okay, thank you. Real quickly, the chairman of the Department of Ag and the chairman of the Department of Land and Natural Resources, as well as the chairman of DHHL, we all have dual roles, and each one of us have trust responsibilities to. Phyllis has to ag and ag production and ag producers in the state. Deal and R, of course, to protect public trust lands, and myself right now to advocate on behalf of the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act. So there are all three of these departments with boards or with commissions have the same sort of trust responsibilities, and I believe we can balance those trust responsibilities along with representing the governor. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so Matt, if we could go to the breakout room.
Hi, Senator.
Aloha. Well, welcome back. Reconvening the joint hearing with Hawaiian Affairs and Agriculture Environment Committee, the 1 o'clock hearing. We have conferred, and the recommendation will be to pass HB 756 HD2 with amendments. Per HDOA, we'll include an amendment stating that the chairperson of the Hawaiian Homes Commission shall not join the Board of Ag until the next upcoming expiration of the at-large seat. And then, this will prevent disruption to the current makeup of the board. And then as far as DHHL, we will, their request will eliminate the sunset provision in the bill. Members, any questions? Okay, so I will.
Senator Ihara, question.
Yes, Senator Ihara.
Chairs, I wanted to comment that I, at this point, am in favor of having a specific Hawaiian Homelands trustee on the Board of Ag General Trust that they have, because I believe that this forwards the discussion about and relationship between the general trust and a specific trust in this case. And I'm in favor of this, your amendments and the bill.
Thank you, Senator Ihara. Anyone else? Okay, I'll go ahead and take the vote for AEN. Chair votes aye. Senator Nishihara, Vice Chair, is not here. Senator Ocasio.
Reservations.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
No.
Okay, the measure passes AEN. Senator Shimabukuro.
Thank you. For Hawaiian Affairs, same recommendation. So Vice Chair Kyohokolola, if you could take the vote, please.
Members, same recommendation. Chair Shimabukuro.
Aye.
Vice Chair goes aye. Senator Ocasio.
Reservations.
Senator Ihara.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
No.
Chair, recommendation adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you, members. That concludes the joint 1 o'clock hearing. Aloha.
Aloha.